We are in our garden. It's been a little while since we've done an update, but it is the middle of November. We've had a pretty pleasant fall, so there's still a lot out in the garden. I'm going to just quick run through and show you, but in a week here, it looks like it's going to get pretty cold, so at that time things will look different, but our hoop houses will still look about the same. I just want to quick give you a rundown here. So here's our small hoop house. So this is the lettuce, head lettuce. It's really nice. That stuff will be harvesting probably in a week or two. So we've been harvesting our lettuce outside. It's been pleasant enough, but I think once we get the night, I think coming up around 20, it'll probably damage the lettuce enough outside that we'll move to the lettuce inside. But here we have some kale, we got celery, which is beautiful. Hopefully I'll post it. We have a market tomorrow. Hopefully I'll post this tonight. But our celery actually is on sale this week. Buy two, get one free. These stalks are really nice. So if you juice, it's a great week to stock up on celery. So yeah, this is about what a nice full hoop house looks like going, at least for us, going into the winter, fall, winter. We got carrots, we have plenty of carrots. So that's lettuce that we harvested today. We'll probably harvest it next week for some of our wholesale accounts or local grocer that we supply before it gets cold. That's the last of the lettuce outside. And here we have more carrots. That's just our mini sweet peppers that froze off. Here we have our salad greens that we just stripped today. So this is the last planting. So you see how we kind of just keep harvesting up around the plant and leave the growing point. But these will probably die in about a week. They'll freeze off. We got leeks, cilantro. Under there we have spinach, arugula, baby kale. I think there might be a few radishes, but the radishes are probably pretty well done under there. Here's the rest of our carrots. So we're working on this row here. We'll probably move over to these rows. These were the last two that were planted. You see they look really nice. So these are our storage carrots. Oh, I just broke the top. It's a nice carrot. It's just our raspberries that we actually already pruned and mulched for the winter. Okay, here's our next hoop house. So these are where our peppers were. We pulled the plants about 3 weeks ago. And at that time I seeded, I don't know if you can see right there, there's spinach coming up. It takes a while. The spinach was planted probably 2 weeks ago. It takes a while for it to come up. But it should survive. I'll have to protect it. If I don't and it freezes, it actually can kill off the spinach seedlings. But if I protect it enough, when we get to about the end of February, this spinach will take off really quick. So right now it'll just kind of get rooted, and once it warms up, since it already has a root system, the growth will just kind of explode. So that's the last of our head lettuce planting. Got some kale. Under here we have some ginger and turmeric that kind of keep covered this time of year just to give a little extra heat. But yeah, we're almost, there's just a little bit of ginger up there. We're almost done with the ginger and just a little bit of turmeric down here. There's our last planting of turnips. See, they're sizing up. And green onions. So this is the ginger. There's some bees actually flying on it. I wonder if there's something they like about it. So this ginger I just harvested. I'll wash that later today for the market tomorrow. Here we have our last plantings. So I just harvested this. This is baby kale, arugula. Then there's our last planting of radishes right there. Up beyond that is spinach. And over here we have some radishes and spinach as well. This is just coming on nice. So this is a little bit older, but there's still some nice spinach and radishes in there. But we'll pretty much, when we get that cold snap down to 20, we'll pull whatever radishes are still nice, because it'll kill off, it'll freeze the roots and make them kind of mushy and hollow. Here we have cabbage that we're just kind of let sit. You can tell the outer leaves, once they get frozen, they kind of turn white, but the heart of it's still good. And the longer I can keep it on the plant, the longer I can just kind of store. If I harvested it a week or two ago, they'd be starting to go bad in storage. So I just leave them in the field as long as I can. Then we'll harvest them before the cold snap next week. We just have a cover crop. Oh yeah, another thing is, it's kind of bright, the sun. So our raspberries were right here. Now we cut them all back and we mulch. So that's kind of what it looks like when we renovate the raspberries. Here we have garlic. It's already coming up. Kind of liking this nice weather. We plant 3 rows per bed on our garlic, about 8 inches apart. There's 5 beds there. We have 3 beds in our back garden. We have our strawberries. So these will mulch here soon for the winter. Here we have some spinach. These we've been actually harvesting for about a month or two. They're starting to look tired, like they're being ready to be done, but we still can get some nice spinach out of there if we need it. Here's our caterpillar tunnel. It's not quite as filled out as I would like. We took the tomato plants out about a month ago or so, and so that's where Flint found a nice warm spot. But we transplanted spinach here. So this would be a little bit ahead of the direct seeded stuff I had in where the peppers were. So these will probably come on 2 or 3 weeks before. So we probably won't. We might get a little bit of this before the end of the year, but a lot of this will actually be for like January markets or January harvests. We sell up at the road at Country Hilltop Market, so this will kind of slowly harvest for them. And this was planted about a week or two. This stuff's almost ready. It's looking nice. And we have salad greens along the side here with beets in the middle. But I don't think those beets are gonna have time to size up. We had, I don't know why, but this year I struggled with the tomatoes kind of choking out what I was interplanting underneath. I'm not sure why. But I'm wondering if I wasn't diligent enough in taking all the suckers off the tomato plants. Because if you keep all the suckers off the tomato plants, it'll just put all of its energy into ripening the fruit. But if you leave the suckers on, then it'll kind of keep drawing nutrients and pulling moisture from the ground to supply all those shoots. And so I'm thinking that was really hindering the beets and salad greens that I had planted underneath there. I think the tomato plants we had a nice warmer spell. Let's see, kind of in October, beginning of October. When about that time we actually are pulling the tomatoes because there's a frost or something that's going to happen. But we actually left them on probably a week or two longer because we didn't have that and it was warm enough. But that week or two, I think, really kept what was planted underneath from coming on. But we harvested this morning for the market. and we will get more harvest out of it, but it's just not the quantity there that usually is. Have a few herbs. Here's cilantro, and down there is parsley, and here we just have some beds that are cover cropped. So they're already been burned a little bit. This will winter kill. You can see there's already some cold damage, but when this dies off, then we'll come through and put a nice fresh layer of compost. So yeah, there's still a lot of growth in the garden. Actually, when you look out for mid-November, and the prop house I didn't show you, but there's head lettuce in there. So that head lettuce in that prop house is between, so this head lettuce we'll harvest in a couple weeks, a week or two, and then that stuff there is the very last in that big hoop house. But in between there, we have some head lettuce in there. So that'll get us till the end of the year. If we're lucky enough, it won't freeze off and we'll get it into the new year, but sometimes we get enough cold that it will take out the lettuce in the hoop house. So that's it for now. Till next time, eat well, live well.